What's going on, Aries? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic month so far. Keep on getting pumped. For those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Aries. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Oh wait, no, it's not that general energy weekly spread. No, it's even bigger, Aries. It is Celestial News Monthly. I love Celestial News Monthly, if you can't tell. But with this monthly spread, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so y'all are aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Aries. So I have a Zodiac Oracle cards with each of the signs that the planets are in. I'm going to pull a few Oracle cards from this deck for each one, and then we'll get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for these situations, okay? Thank you. And in case of y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links to them down in the description box as well, so definitely check that out if you're interested. Also down below some links for some other readers that I like watching Aries, so definitely check them out. Very intuitive group. One of them was in Aries. I think you really enjoy them. But before we jump into your first card here, let's talk about this party that Libra's throwing. Because you got a lot of stuff happening with Libra season. You got the sun that's entering Libra. You got Mercury that's going to be entering Libra. And we're also having a new moon solar eclipse that's going to be happening in their sign as well. So look at Libra going big. But let's talk about the sun. Because the sun is going to enter on the 23rd of September. That'll be about 2:50 a.m. It's Eastern time. And then we'll be there through the 23rd of October. And with this energy, Aries, this really is a great cycle for connecting with others. You know, Libra deals with that with one-on-one relationships. It's one of the aspects that they deal with. So whether that be with love, with friends, with family, with business, you know, just all about those connections. You know, you might be feeling a little more social there. But it's also a great energy of like appreciating beauty. And really, I feel like creating beauty as well. The art that you can create, Aries, because you're a very creative sign. But, you know, with with Libra being ruled by Venus, you know, one of the aspects of that is like they appreciate like, you know, art, beauty, aesthetics and things. You know, so this could be like going out to like maybe like there's an art festival, or maybe going to like a even like a museum even, or maybe if you're doing some like seeing like go to like a concert, or maybe like a municipal band or something along those lines. There's just or even just like appreciating the natural beauty that the world has to offer. Just really fantastic for that. But you're also going to be able to see all sides of a situation too, because Libra does weigh all the options, and they're able to see things from numerous perspectives. So work with that energy. You know, you can really kind of use this to your advantage. But then you got Mercury that's going to be in entering Libra on the 4th of October. Yeah, 4th of October, and will be there through the 22nd of October. And with this, diplomacy kind of takes center stage here, Aries. And this can be great energy too, like great energy for if you've been, I don't know, maybe if you've noticed that maybe people around you have been kind of arguing as of late, or maybe you've had a riff or had a tiff with someone. You know, we can speak in a more kind of charming and kind of like a fair, more balanced type of way there. But also, this is communication does with others does become more of a focus. Just again, Libra deals with those relationships. So you may, again, this could be a great energy for going out, just hanging out with friends, or just going out and just socializing, and whatever that type of environment looks like for you. But also, it really creates harmony in our relationship. So if there has been that kind of discord and things, again, this is great for being able to resolve that type of stuff. And yeah, just bring peace and balance into our those we connect with. But then there's this new moon solar eclipse that's going down in their sign, and that's going to happen on the 14th of October. And this really asks us to examine the relationships in our lives. And if there's any or relationship situations, things like that, if there are any unbalanced situations that are going on, it's either we need to put up some boundaries, or might even be need to let go of some people, or maybe move on to a new, just a new opportunities. But and now, depending on where your and eclipses too, keep in mind eclipses bring about change as well. It's a very kind of a one big curveball in the universal energy. So just something to keep in mind of their Aries. But depending on where your Aries placements are at, this is going to be forming an opposition with your sign. And now oppositions are kind of tougher energies, because you and Libra, being opposite signs of the zodiac, is going to form that polarity. There will either be situations or relationships that may force you into making decisions there. But it's one of those things that if we can work with those opposing energies and find a way to bring those two in harmony, then it's really beautiful what they can produce. But they are tougher. They can bring challenges, delays, things along those lines. So just something to keep in mind of their Aries. But let's get to your first card here. Oh, look at you, about to go out fishing, looks like, because you got that's a nice way to kind of go appreciate some beauty. But you got the ninth card of Virgos, which is fishing pole card. And with this card, this is a card of self-reliance, extended oneself, autonomy, mentoring others, poetry in motion, exploration, providing, connect with nature, accomplishment, reflection, self-improvement, and capable. And interesting, Aries, I dig that. So the energy that's coming through here is the mentoring others. And so maybe for some, if you've been thinking about, like, this is perfect, considering getting in Libra energy. Maybe some of you have been thinking about getting into some sort of, starting to do some mentoring. Maybe you're teaching, and this doesn't even necessarily have to even be in like a professional standpoint. This could be maybe you're teaching, maybe you got maybe you've got your own kids, or maybe some nieces and nephews possibly, that you might be teaching them, like maybe fishing or any sort of like activity. Or this could be maybe where just you got this expertise, and it's just like now is you were looking to, I don't know, just kind of share your wisdom there, Aries, because I do feel like you are a very smart sign. You rule the head, and I feel that what even greater way to continue learning a craft than to teach others, because then they also bring, where it's like, sure, we may have come in wanting to mentor others, but while we're doing that, they'll bring a different perspective to you, make you kind of see things in a different light. And it's this beautiful type of energy exchange that I feel like is happening here when you get into that sort of like teacher student type of relationship there. So I feel like if you do have something, and this may not even be, if we're not necessarily actively interacting with people, maybe this is like releasing maybe some courses, maybe online possibly, or maybe you're thinking about writing a book, maybe, or I don't know, maybe even just like this could even be like maybe like do this through like a podcast, maybe to just talk about some things that I feel like really inspires you, and that you really have this great, because we all are going through this journey, and even though it can feel like that everyone has already done something or another, it's always going to be different, because we are all different beings. And yes, we are interconnected, but we view this journey in so many different ways, and it's beautiful. And I feel like we are getting into an age where we're going to start connecting more and socializing, and really just like broadening our scope here. So definitely don't care. Let's see what you got here, Aries, and let's get some tarot on this. Get some details. Yeah, very hierophant of you. I'm with that. And even just your energy, Emperor. Coming into passing that wisdom down. I like that. And maybe even this could be too. Maybe even thinking about like joining I'm thinking that's kind of popping in my head as like a boys and girls club, or doing some sort of volunteer, maybe even on that aspect, or so many things. Mentoring others on overfishing. I don't know, just like, let's see what's going on here. Okay, thank you. All right, let's see what's going on here, Aries. Oh, look at that. I'm with it. Alrighty, Aries. So you have, they bring in change. So you have the Four of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Five of Cups, the High Priestess, and then the Death card. And let's talk about the High Priestess, because she's the divine counterpart to the Hierophant. And the High Priestess is the one. She's a very mysterious figure. I feel like when she's doing her learning and really kind of honing her craft, connecting to source and things, and really she's like, I feel like that it's taking that kind of sacred knowledge that you do as the High Priestess. It's, how do I want to put that? She's giving me this energy of taking those secrets that because she is a little different. She usually keeps stuff to herself. Even just thinking about just her as she's represented by the moon, and the moon deals with our subconscious and kind of personal things. Like the moon placement is something that you really don't. It's what you get to see of others as you get to know them. Depending on how that's placed, but now I feel like that this energy is going from this an initiate to like an initiator, like or like yeah, it's like taking your secrets, and I feel like it's sharing it with others. It's changing or it's like adding to the perspectives of the collective here is what I'm kind of feeling with the Five of Swords popping up here. And I feel like maybe for some, maybe there's this fear of maybe our what we have to say not being appreciated, or maybe that is falling through, or maybe we're afraid that it's just like it maybe just won't be well received. And I feel like it's something that's going to take some time, because change takes time. But I feel that, of course, when it comes to any sort of releasing sort of any sort of like materials and things, there are going to be those that resonate with this stuff, and there will be those that don't. But it's as long as I feel like that you will find your audience. There are how many people on the planet now there, Aries? Absolutely. And I feel like that there is something here that you can change. It's just like, you see how the scroll is blank here? It's like the universe is like waiting for you to kind of fill your story, add to the records of life in a sense. And but I'm getting, it's like this energy with like the Four of Swords and the Five of Cups here. It's just like there's this anxious energy. It's like there's a part of us that wants to do this thing, but it's just like we're afraid of maybe of how it's going to be received, or if we're going to be judged, or maybe if we're even doubting like if we're even know as much as we do. I mean, it's very interesting energy that's coming through here, Aries. But again, it's just I feel like that a great way to really, even like if that's something, if we're maybe feeling self-conscious maybe about the knowledge that we do have, again, what better way to solidify it than to being in it all the time. And I even kind of feel like maybe for some too, I'm even feeling like if we're like maybe retired possibly, that it's just like that maybe we've been in this energy of just like doing all the time, but now it's like time to pass down that wisdom. And because maybe we've been wanting to keep kind of, and I feel like you can still enjoy yourself and relax and things, but that doesn't mean that that we still can't change the world, even though we're not maybe actively doing like work and things. Like there's, I don't know, something different. It's like I'm almost feeling like it's like a passing the baton in a sense. Or yeah, that's kind of the energy that I feel like is coming through there. Yeah. Let me get a little bit more on this death card here. Interesting. So the death card is clarified by the Seven of Wands and then the World. And that's where the sort of, again, it feels like that we might be like protecting ourselves because we're afraid of the criticisms of the world, but I feel like that the world is here. It's just like because we've reached this end of this cycle. We've come to this period of where we've been learning and growing and developing our skills, and now it's time to take that next leap of faith, get to that next chapter where it's helping others grow and change. And because I feel like that it may be for some, it's just like we want to have this world changing effect, but we're not sure how that's, if we're going to be able to achieve that. Or, it's like I'm even getting like if you think with the Five of Swords, maybe it's like we're comparing ourselves to others who have already established themselves in this craft. But think about that too. They had to start somewhere as well. They had to start from the bottom and work their way up. It's just a part of that journey, and you will get to where you need to be. And just like I'm even getting like it's like a Ten of Pentacles vibe that's kind of coming through here. Just like, am I going to have that lasting legacy or something along those lines? But I do feel like that you would have a greater impact than you would think, Aries, because yours is a sign. Your fire signs are in fire energy is very inspirational, and it's something that I feel that we are in a time where we could use that inspiration. Again, no matter how big or small, this could be inspiring. Like, it could be as simple as talking with a little one, maybe like a grandchild, maybe a son, maybe a daughter, however that's looking. Or it can be as big as a community, so, as a neighborhood. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, try, if you got something to share, Aries, I say absolutely. We're definitely getting into an age of that. Right? Yeah, so just something to think about there over this next month. And again, we're in this connecting energy. It's can be a little challenging, but I feel like it's definitely be worth it in the long run. Trust those intuitive insights that you're getting. And actually, now that we talked about that, I'm gonna move a couple of things, because that's what let's talk about that next, and then we'll talk about your ruler. Because let's talk about Saturn and let's talk about Pisces energy, because you have Saturn that's retrograde in Pisces, and Neptune is also retrograde. Now Saturn is going to be retrograde until the 4th of November. And with Saturn being retrograde in Pisces, Pisces is very dreamy energy, very, can be, again, where it's like you're thinking this mentoring things, it's just like, how is that going to look? Sometimes I think maybe the dreams and in the effect that we want it to have, sometimes that can seem very fanciful and maybe too big for us to, or feels like it's too big for us to accomplish. But this energy, Saturn is just like asking us if we're following our hearts, following our dreams, and if we're not, what do we need to do to change? Because this might be something too. Maybe we need to partner up with someone to kind of help this along. Maybe if there's some skills maybe that you feel like you don't have. Five of Swords. Let's connect. Let's start networking and things. See, maybe I don't know. This is just something to think about there, Aries. But Saturn in Pisces too is a very kind of spiritual energy. And I feel that, especially since you kind of started off with the High Priestess there, that I feel like it's really kind of connecting with it's connecting with your higher powers, however you connect to the source, higher self, the angels, spirits, ancestors. And I feel like it's when you do make that connection, then the answers they start to become clearer for you. When you really kind of tune into that intuition and tune into that spirituality, because that's another thing that Saturn wants as well, to really kind of connect and to form this oneness with yourself, and to trust those again, those intuitive insights and inspirations and things like that. And then you couple that with Neptune is going to be retrograde until the 6th of December. It's like the curtain has been lifted, Aries, and now we can really connect to source in a very powerful way. This is a great energy for self-discovery and introspection, and learning what our true calling is. And it could be for some, again, this could be this mentoring others and passing this intuitive wisdom down, maybe even possibly. Look at you, spiritual leader. I like that. But one thing with Neptune in Pisces is that we want to be mindful of escapism and the things that get in the way of that. Make sure we are protecting our energies and just being mindful of that, of the people that are around us as well. So just be mindful of that, Aries. Now, let's get an oracle on the mix. Thank you. And I like this, Aries, because you got the first card of Leos, which is the Knight card. And with this card, this is a card of confident, heroic, messenger, fearless, assertive. passionate, fighting spirit, persevering, chivalry, honor, determined, obeying orders, brave, daring, strong, and champion of a cause. And the energies that are coming through here, Aries, are the fearless and the passionate. And I like that because I feel like that if there is something that you're passionate about, you know, that you want to do, even if it's not necessarily mentoring others. I'm just talking now in general. If there's something passionate or that you want, that you're passionate about, and you want to do, I feel like that's what Saturn and Pisces want you to do, is to be fearless, to go and tackle that thing head on. And I like that when we're going to talk about your ruler next, because you are getting ready to get in a very persevering and like resilient type of energy with your ruler entering Scorpio. But you know, this really is, the energies are shifting in a very kind of cool way, and I feel like that, you know, there's a lot of change that's happening. I feel like if you follow this drive here, you know, this, since you got the death card here, you know, there's something here that I feel like will change even inside of you, because I feel like you are a very confident sign, Aries. You know, I feel like this is not one. And the thing too, because you know, like, we all have fears, Aries, but the Emperor uses fear as fuel. You know, because if anything, if he's afraid of something, especially if it's something that you're passionate about, or you know, if we're afraid of something, or you know, starting something, it's because we're so passionate about it, because we want to succeed, we don't want to fail. And here's the thing: when we're going through this journey, we are going to fail along the way, but it's just like, it's learning from those failures and then turning that again and letting that, even in that fear, facing them head on. And I feel like you really would show yourself what you're really made of here, Aries. And then again, that I feel like in a way is mentoring others to do the same. You know, it's inspiring them in a sense. But even though it may not be directly, you know, teaching them something, you know, they can, teaching through action even, but, or mentoring through action. But that's dope. Let's get some tarot on. Let's get some details. I've been telling the other signs I need to start shuffling with this deck regularly, because I love these cards. They are, it's interesting to work with them. Thank you. Let's see what's going on here, Aries. Oh, we were just talking about that Ten of Pentacles. Oh, I like this, Aries. And I do look at you syncing up with the energies, because the Eight of Cups. Okay, so you got the Seven of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and then the Star here. Let's talk about the Eight of Cups. Saturn in Pisces. So see that? I feel like when we pursue those passions, Aries, things line up. And I feel like really with the Star here, that there is this energy of kind of realizing your potential, in a sense, you know, like really kind of seeing yourself shine. It's like, it's in, right now we're in this like kind of the nascency of it, but I do feel like with the Seven of Pentacles, this is something worth investing in, because it's going to work towards your Ten of Pentacles long term here. Fulfill that legacy. And I feel that there's this, for some, I even feel like there could be this kind of healing energy that happens as we pursue this thing as well. But there's something with the Eight of Cups that, you know, we got to see if maybe there's some things that are holding us back that we may need to leave in behind, that might be getting in the way of you working towards your dream. But I do feel with the Star, this is like, you know, it's making a wish, and you know, and like a wish fulfillment. And I feel like these answers again are going to start becoming clear to you as you're pursuing these stuff. You know, pay attention to your intuition, to what your instincts are telling you, because it feels like that this could be. Let me get a little bit more with the Eight of Cups. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the Eight of Cups is clarified by the Two of Swords and then the Queen of Pentacles. And it feels like that with the Two of Swords being here. It's just like we're, again, just like we're kind of oscillating on this thing. You know, maybe there is something. Maybe part of this fear is that, let's say if we're like pursuing to start our own business, for example. You know, maybe we're afraid that we don't have the resources that we need, or maybe we feel like there are certain skills that we still need to learn, or that there's. I'm not sure, Aries, but you know, I always feel like there's something that we're always going to need. You know, nothing's ever really truly going to be perfect. And not that's what you're trying to do, but it's just like whatever these fears is that are holding you back, that's why I feel like the Eight of Cups is trying to get you to let go. It's like we may not need to make big moves yet, but it's just like maybe just doing small little things to just start to shift that energy towards that. And just because even just thinking, you know, with like when I started this channel, you know, there's still so much, and there's still so much that I'm learning, but it's one of those things. It's just like as you're doing it, it's just almost like even with this thing with this mentoring others, it's almost like you're kind of mentoring yourself in a sense, or just like teaching yourself. It's like higher self is mentoring you, or something along those lines. Of that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I do feel like that you got, yeah, there's with the Queen of Pentacles, there's something. I like that. There's more at your disposal. I feel like than you realize there, Aries. All right, let me get this organized here, and then let's talk about your ruler. Because your ruler is going to be entering Scorpio on the 11th of October, and will be there through the 24th of November. And with this energy, Aries, this is a great energy for, it's like you have a greater ability to persevere through things and to work through difficult challenges, because there always are going to be challenges there, Aries. And you know, just even thinking with that too, just with that passion and things, like, you know, the star card can also be a card of like unexpected help as well. And so maybe for some, there's just like, there's again, like there's this energy connecting with others and things. And maybe that's something where we might feel not necessarily proud, but it's like we feel like that we have to have everything. But you know, we're a team in this area. You know, we're a soul tribe. But yeah, back to the energies. But this is a great energy as well for doing some self-examination, because Scorpio is very deep energy. You know, they're all about, especially I feel like when we're thinking about our energies and our drive and our actions, it's like asking ourselves, what does motivate you? You know, what are some of these passions like, and are we investing in them? And if not, how let's do this stuff. You know, now we really have the drive, the focus, the I'm almost feeling even like this healthy obsession with this passion, or this pursuing of these things, Aries. But we do want to be mindful, just because you know, Mars does tend to be, you know, a bit aggressive. We want to be mindful of aggression, you know, especially now when he's at another one of his signs that he rules. You know, Mars is at home, and sometimes he gonna act how he wants. So just something to think about there, Aries. But yeah, I think that's all I got there. Let's get get an oracle on this. Thank you. Interesting. I like that. So you got the fourth card of Gemini's, which is the hammock card. And with this card, this is a card of rest, relax, time off, pause, suspend, sleep, supported, meditate, inactive, recovery, find relief, vacation, waiting, suspended between two things, in limbo, and self-actualization. An energy that's coming through here, Aries, is a supported. And I do feel like that just in you know, on a more kind of like a spiritual thing, I feel like you are very, you know, you're divinely supported. You know, I feel that the energies are, they are shifting in a way. I feel like Libra season could potentially be a because you know, Virgo season's been a little tough. I feel, you know, with how retrograde heavy we were, but the energies are going to start to lighten up a little bit, you know, over these next few months. And I do feel like it is remembering that, one, you are, when you're following your heart and pursuing your passions and things, and you know, whether this is whatever it is that we're starting up, or whatever it is that we're starting up, this again could be like a business, this could be maybe a course or anything along those lines. Know that you know that higher self has always got your back. But I even feel like too that, you know, again, with the star card being like Aquarius energy, dealing with like groups and things, and actually Saturn, the world here, is one of the rulers of Aquarius. And I feel like with that, like there's this energy of, I feel like if you were to pursue this thing, or maybe even talk with others about these ideas that you may have, or it's like there's this energy if you were to ask for help, because maybe for some we do might be a little short on resources, and we need maybe some others to like invest in this thing or something along those lines. I feel like you are would be more supported than you would think, but there are I do feel like whatever this is that you might want to get started, that you do have, I feel like it's working with what you have, because it's like working with what you have because you are able to build off of that. Sometimes we need to start small and then work big. I get where we want to just have it all just sort of just figured out there and done. But, you know, this type of stuff, you know, when we're working towards Ten of Pentacles, we may never truly achieve that all the way, but bet we're going to get close. And I feel like, again, like there's, and you know what, if your dreams, if you've been, just thinking with Libra energy, if you've been around maybe people who haven't been supporting your dreams, you know, maybe not been seeing your potential, maybe they're just like, oh, Aries, that's stupid, or anything along those lines. Even just thinking with the Seven of Wands there, it's like it's like I tell you at the beginning, you take what resonates with you and leave the rest with them, because I feel like it's one thing if a person is with they're providing like criticisms, you know, if they're like, oh well, Aries, that's a good idea, but had you considered this and that, you know, maybe there's this resource for here, or, you know, like, have you thought to look into this, you know. I feel like that's how we're supported, as opposed to, again, if someone's just like slashing you down and not supporting you. I feel like we want to maybe put some boundaries up with those people and kind of change that environment so that, you know, it's something that's more conducive to your growth. But yeah, let's get some tarot on this, because maybe that's why we've been on the fence for so long. I had something to think about. I had thought about that too. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on here, Aries. Oh, look at that. All right, Aries. So you have the Six of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Chariot. Now let's talk about the Chariot, because I feel like with this, it almost feels like that if we haven't been getting that support that we need, that I feel like that it's, again, from people, I feel like there's a need to kind of, I feel like there's a need to, with the Six of Swords being here, a need to move on. In order to get to that new experience, we're going to need to move on from, or find out like what it is that we may be having trouble walking away from. Because I feel that there's something here with the Hanged Man that feels that it's limiting our perspective, and it's like we need to see things from a different view, because I don't know, it's just like maybe we've been, and I might need to get a little bit more with the Hanged Man, but I just feel like if we're not feeling supported that like we do, we need to figure out how we can change that environment. Maybe like our workspace isn't, I don't know, it's like not offering the support that we need, or, and like, let me get a little bit more on the Hangman before I get into that. Because it feels like with like the Eight of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, it's like we've been putting a lot of energy into something and been putting a lot of work, but it's not been appreciated like it could be. And it's just like maybe for some it's like we're realizing this, but but it's like we're not sure how to maybe move on from that. right, so the let's see what's going on here. Oh, interesting. And that's the kind of support that we need, Aries. Because the Hanged Man is clarified by the Two of Wands, the King of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and then the King of Wands. And that's where I feel like it's neat, because the Queen of Wands is, for me, this is one of your cards here. And the Queen of Wands is very passionate, very driven, but I feel like it's like having, like surrounding ourselves with different people who really kind of complement our energies, who, will be there to like to just like provide guidance maybe for some, and to help keep it so that you can keep this chariot moving, and provide maybe that sort of like I'm feeling like this emotional support that's kind of coming with the King of Cups. Someone who's there to be kind but be wise as well. Like it's where they're not going to you kind of get what I mean. It's like this. And then I feel like, when we have those people around us, when we're working on this thing, it doesn't feel as arduous as it does, and it's like our energies feel like we feel more, just like they feel like less of a burden that is on us. That's kind of what this 9 and 8 of Pentacles is kind of giving me here. But I do feel that there's a need, if we're not feeling, or maybe we're not even feeling divinely supported, possibly. Maybe we're feeling this disconnect from our intuition, or not been feeling inspired, and that may be a need to do something where it's like we're, again, maybe could like, maybe go out in nature, or like any things that you can do to like even go on like a retreat, maybe, possibly, or something along those lines. Just think with this, because the Six of Wands could be a card of travel, the Chariot, go see the world for a little while, kind of help realize your dream. But that's something too. If that is something that you're feeling, Aries, know that you are divinely supported. And I think we were talking about that. So even when you don't think you are, because there were times when I, had a lower vibration, I was doing a lot. But when I think back, higher stuff really did have my back in a way that I've really just come to appreciate here as a, over the last couple years. So just a little something extra to think about. But let's talk about Virgo, because you got the Empress. Venus is going to be entering Virgo on the 8th of October, and will be there through the 8th of November. And with this, the Empress is going to work. She's in her Eight of Pentacles energy. But this is really great for kind of figuring out what is working in our relationship and what isn't. So since we're talking about that support and things, if we're noticing some things, like if we're not getting that sort of like, there's not that balance in this relationships here, then we might need to change some things up, reevaluate some stuff. But also, too, this is great for working on kind of practical matters, whether this be towards like you're working on your finances, because that's one aspect that Venus is deal with. This can maybe, finding the funds to do this dream, or maybe finding the tools for this thing, like, looking into different kind of like getting a little creative there, Queen of Wands, and getting a little creative with how we're going about things, but getting a game plan, King of Wands. But yeah, this is a very, very practical placement for Venus to be, and I feel like it's going to be considering too that it's just like your rulers in Scorpio. I feel like you can really get a lot of stuff done here, Aries. But let's get some tarot on this, or get an oracle on this. Well, I dig it. Thank you. So you got the 7th card of Taurus, which is the eyeglasses card. And with this card, this is a card of assessment, evaluate options, perspective, review, analyze, opinion, judgment, examine, seeing clearly, the fine print, estimate, closer look, focus, awareness, and check the details. And the energy that's coming through here is the perspective. And I like that. I wasn't even looking at something on the Hanged Man. But I do feel like your perspective, Aries, is going to be very important, and I feel like that in the perspective of others as well, and how, and it's, I really feel like that opposition is going to play kind of a big part in how, with Libra, like the oppositions with the Sun, Mercury, and this eclipse. I do feel like that there is probably going to be a change in your perspective, ultimately for the better, Aries. But it may not feel like that at first, and maybe there's this not fear, but like I feel like there's this what's the word I'm looking for? Anxiety. I feel like about this, like these changes possibly. Maybe was like and I feel like it's one of those things that's like we already sort of knew, but now it's like if like now it's like getting to a place where we can't really ignore it, and it's going to be something where either are we going to stick with these, like let's say people for example, or are we going to let them go? But and this could even be too, for like pursuing your dreams and things. It's just like it's if we keep saying that, maybe we're afraid of disappointment or this afraid of this or afraid of that, then that's just what's going to perpetuate. But if we shift those gears and do it in a more sort of like motivated type of mindset, it doesn't take away from the challenges, but it just helps us to see things from a higher perspective and helps us to tackle them a lot more efficiently there. So but let's get some tarot on this. Thank you. Let's see what's going on here. Interesting. Okay. So I like that. So you have the Eight of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, the Sun, and the Judgment card here, Aries. And I feel like with this, when we're talking about like, I feel like this, when we talk about being fearless and pursuing our passions, if there's something that we feel like we're afraid of, that we're always, if we're operating from this place of lack, like, oh, I can't do this because I don't have this, or I don't have that, or I don't have this, then, we're operating from a place of lack, and that's keeping us in our head, and it's keeping us kind of trapped here. It's stopping this chariot from moving. And I feel like it's one of those. It's like we've got to be mindful of where our thoughts are at. I feel like there's that's always, and that's for for all of us. But there has been this, and Scorpio had something similar where we were talking about it was a matter of perspective. They had you two actually got a couple of cards that were the same. They got the Knight card and the eyeglasses as well. And I feel like your ruler is really kind of trying to make it a point to make sure that we're that when we're operating from stuff, we're operating from this place of, I don't know, it's like something's needing to change. Again, maybe how we operate, or and if it's like, yeah, like something's here with the Judgment and the Sun. It's like if there's something that's been kind of holding you back, or if you've, it's like, I don't know, I feel like a revelation or something is getting ready to happen here over this next month. Like we're gonna start seeing things from a clear state, seeing how we've been, how maybe the decisions, or maybe like the mental states we've had have been keeping us where it's like we've been like maybe feeling shortchanged by the universe possibly, or something. Because it's like, when we stay in those kind of low vibrations, then that's what we're attracting. It's like very kind of Nine of Cups energy, and we got to be mindful of that. But let me get a little bit more on the Sun here. And I'm just kind of thinking too, Aries, just because you got like the Nine of Wands, the Four of Swords for me, making sure that with all this stuff we may be thinking about, or decisions that we need to make. Ooh, interesting. I love that your ruler popped up. But there's been a lot of Tower energy that's been going down here for this month. So I do feel like there is making sure that with all these changes, just making sure that we are getting some, making sure we're resting up as well, you know, taking, because this is a lot to be thinking about and maybe a lot to be dealing with. But the sun is clarified by the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands, and then the Tower. And I feel like it's just like as we start realizing this stuff, as we start maybe working towards our happiness and things along those lines, that there are, realizing that there are going to be some things that need to change, you know. And I'm even getting, for some, it feels like with this Page of Swords and Page of Wands, there's this almost like, maybe it's like for some, I feel like maybe we've been around like a group that have been kind of operating from a more kind of immature type of energy, you know, still like kind of resisting the changes that are happening in the energies. And you know, we're graduating from that, Aries. You know, we're not in the page stage anymore. We're working towards, you know, we're getting more royal here with the King and Queen of Wands. But yeah, I do feel like that's some foundations and some things are good. There's some stuff that I feel like is going to be, need to be kind of reevaluated here in order for us to get from that like place of judgment and rebirth until we get to the world where it's like that cycle completion to start this next fool's journey here. And I feel like that it's going to be one of those things, like as things change, you're going to feel more inspired with the Page of Swords and feeling that drive again. And then I feel like it's because the Chariot's been giving me this like almost like this like this vehicle that's going to come to help you move this thing along. But first we have to, I don't know, it's like we have to get things, it's just like there's actions that we got to take in order for that to get to us here. But yeah, no, I hope that made sense. It's an interesting energy. And look at you working towards your highest vibration, because when you think about that too, Pluto, the Judgment card, is a higher octave of Mars, the Tower. All right, now let's talk about Taurus energy. Actually, let's get some tea. Let's talk about Taurus. Because you got Jupiter and Uranus that are retrograde in Taurus right now. And Big Papa Jupiter is going to be retrograde till pretty much about the end of the year, the 30th of December. And with this is about, you know, paying attention to things that, like, paying attention to the things that we have invested in. You know, because Taurus is a sign of security and a sign of stability. And if we've been, I don't know, if it's like if we've been investing in things that, you know, because you got Seven of Pentacles here that have been lowering our vibration, we got to correct that stuff, because we're thinking, you know, this type of energy here is Ten of Pentacles vibes. It's working towards that, that end game there, whatever your dreams and passions and things along those lines. But you know, it's just we want to make sure that we're investing in quality type of stuff as well, making sure, you know, just that's one thing, you know, that's pretty much with Jupiter retrograde there. And then you got Uranus is going to be retrograde until the 27th of January next year, 2024. And with this is about like embracing, you know, like novel ideas that can help you grow and help like society grow as well. You know, we're talking about mentoring others and things, but I feel like it's also a thing too, Aries, that you may notice that there are going to be changes in like the economy and in the in like stock markets and things along those lines. So, you know, all things that, you know, Taurus is rules over. So, and I know like we still got, and there have already been changes that have been going on like crazy, but it's just like it's not gonna, energies aren't gonna be slowing down. It's gonna be, I feel like Uranus is really going to work here for when Pluto really gets settled into Aquarius next year. So it's gonna be very, very interesting time here, Aries. But let's get some get an oracle on this, get some details like that. Thank you. So you got the fifth card of you. Oh, okay. Let me fix these real quick. All right. So you got the fifth card of you, Aries, which is the slingshot card, like you forgot who you are. And with this card, this is a card of tension, strain, sudden, anxiety, pressure, launch, stressed, pull, set in motion, focus, begin, force, change, pulled in opposite directions. Ready, aim, fire. And the energy that's coming through here, Aries, is the sudden. And I feel like that for some, there's this energy that I feel like these changes that are getting ready to happen, because I feel like Tower and Judgment is very, very intense type of change there. But I do feel like where it may be sudden, I don't feel like that it does have to be something where it like completely catches us like totally off guard. I feel there is a way to prepare for this, listening to your intuition when things are telling you that something doesn't feel right, or that there's a time, or time for something to change here. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. I feel like that there, and I even feel like too, there may be even just like, if there's not these changes, it's just like, even like with thinking with the Hanged Man, it's like there's going to be these sudden epiphanies that I feel like are going to come through, just like these realizations that, oh, maybe I'm not like, the foundation that I have isn't quite like what I thought it was, or yeah, let me get some tarot on this and get some details. Oh, thank you. All right, so you have the Three of Cups, the Five of Wands, and then the Knight of Cups here, Aries. And yeah, I do feel like that there are going to be some challenges that are going to be coming up with the Five of Wands here. But I feel like where challenges come, that's where the motivation happens. It's just like, okay, if we feeling this conflict, what's our game plan? How's that yeah, like what is this game? Because you know what, it's oh, because I'm sorry, I'm looking, because I was like, I think you had all four fives, and that's where I'm like, because all the fives in the tarot deal with conflict, and not to say that you're going to be hitting it, feeling it on all fronts there, but there might be something where, and listen, the Pentacles deal with more than just your money, you can deal with like your health, your manifestation, but I feel that there is going to be some energies while we're going through this. It may not feel so great at first while we're going through this like through these challenges and things along those lines, but it is cause for celebration because there's growth that's going to be happening on the other end of that. And I know that may sound a little not exactly like the best news that we want to hear, but that's where we're talking about operating from that higher perspective there. Yeah, because that's interesting. I thought you had four of a kind there. And it's all part of that waxing and waning of life, where even though things can be kind of tough, just thinking with that Libra energy that's going on, opposing your signs, I don't feel that it's got to be something where it's like, again, we have to dread. We may not be throwing a party about the changes, but at least we kind of can find that silver lining. And then it makes these sudden changes become, because they're going to keep happening. There's always going to be conflicts that are coming through here. These fives just don't go away, but it makes them to where even when we're caught off guard, we still have that sense of security, whether that be that emotional security, that like I'm just all of that, like it's. Let me get a little bit more with the Knight of Cups here. Thank you. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is clarified by the Two of Pentacles here. And I feel like that these conflicts and things, these changes that are happening, are really kind of helping you just harmonize with the energies a lot more. It's shifting things in a way, and again, that's cause for celebration, because it's like we're because then it teaches us to start trusting our intuition a lot more, and it's almost like the universe. I know we were talking about it's mentoring others, but I feel like the universe is kind of mentoring you as well. To kind of sync up a little bit more and to find a love for the challenges, and the love for this because again, those are opportunities for growth and for expansion, which is what we're all about here. That's what Jupiter's all about, growing. And so, yeah, Aries. Yeah, I hope that made sense. That was a interesting energy there. All right, now let's get to this. Let's get to this last energy here, which is Pluto. And you got Pluto that's going to be, Pluto will be retrograde until like the 10th of October, and then will be in Capricorn until pretty much almost like Aquarius season starts around the 20th, I want to say. And with this energy there, Aries, this is very world changing type of energy. You know, this is both Pluto and Capricorn are very power of success and power oriented. You know, Capricorn being a sign of accomplishments and achievements and ambitions, and this really kind of forces us to face our feelings about power, excuse me, in corporations, in governments, in things, and what kind of change that you want to bring to society. Because I mean, you're bringing it with all this this Tower judgment energy, but yeah, you and Scorpio had this combination there. I dig that, but yeah, this is really kind of potentially you getting to this sense of just thinking about just like all these kind of deeper type of things here, Aries. But also, this is, may notice that there's a transformation in social order because things are shifting in a way. It's like I feel like we're going from this more sort of like corporate type of environment to things are shifting more towards like the collective and like in like forming like soul tribes and things and getting more in touch with spirituality and learning more about yourself and pursuing your passions and things along those lines there. It's very dope energy. I feel like this is going to happen here over these next couple of years in particular, and until we get into where we're going to begin in your sign here, energy into your energy in the next couple of years with Saturn and Neptune going to be moving into Aries. But also, Aries, depending on where your Aries placements are at, and this is going to be more so, you'll need your time for this because Pluto's going to be retrograded up to about the 27th degree and will be moving back before he started moving back. But this is going to be just like with, oh no, this is a little different from Libra energy. This is going to be forming a square with those placements if you have them towards the end. And squares are similar to oppositions where they bring about delays and challenges and resistance and things. But it doesn't mean that there's not going to be abundance at the end of it. It's just like it's got to work a little bit harder there. The energies aren't quite as harmonious as they could be. So just something to pay attention to there, Aries. But let's get your last oracle card. Thank you. Love it. All right, so you got the third card of Leo's here, which is the Inventor card. And with this card, this is a card of innovation, imagination, creative, gadgets, technology, groundbreaking developments, okay to fail, do it again and again, inspired ideas, setting trends, mastermind, and modern era. And the energy that's coming through here, Aries, is the technology. And I like that. I feel like that for some, it's... I feel like if this is applying, I'm going to kind of go down this list here because it feels like that for some, if we're thinking about mentoring others, that again, this could be something where we're doing it through technology, where we're doing it through like the internet or, and even like this passions and fears, like, because now you're kind of getting out of my realm. I can be a bit of a Luddite sometimes. I'm working on that. But, actually, Aries, there is this kind of there's this sense of this innovative like type of energy here. Like maybe for some, maybe we happen to work in technology possibly, and it's just like we're doing something. Maybe there's something we want to do that we're trying to change the game up on that aspect. Maybe you work in like IT, or maybe you work with building different gadgets or different machinery or something along those lines, something that can bring about a sudden difference. Or I don't know, it's like maybe even for some it's just like maybe we're maybe you're similar to me, and it's just like we're kind of finding the how technology really can kind of help you, can be a valuable resource in helping you kind of get things moving in a sense. It can maybe help you deal with some of these this conflict here or these challenges. But let me actually get some tarot on that, because now you are starting to get out of my realm there, Aries. I'm getting better. I actually just had a discussion with someone about that, and it's we're working on it slowly but surely. Thank you. All right, Aries. So last little bit here. You have the Page of Cups, the Six of Cups, and then the Nine of Pentacles here. And let's switch back over. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's something here with the like, because maybe for some it's like we might be either creating some sort of like online courses possibly, or it's like we're doing something where it's like or we might even be kind of doing some skills like where we're learning things ourselves here. But I feel like there is this energy of taking the stuff that you've worked on and taking these, like, I don't know, it's like these passions, and I feel like there's a need to, with the Six of Cups, it's like we're sharing this information or this knowledge that we have. And again, like, I feel like technology can be a really great conduit for that. I mean, look at how, like, with YouTube, or like maybe doing it through TikTok, or doing it through, whatever the hell, Discord or something, or, maybe even you might be creating your own type of platform there. Who knows what that might be looking like, Aries? I'm with it. But I do feel like, because there is that, again, with that fearless and just thinking with the passionate and things, like, there's something here that I feel that if you were to pursue this thing, when whatever it is in life, but especially over this next month, if you've been kind of thinking about cooking up something, I think you would be more supported than you would realize. Randomly, though, I do feel like, and that's interesting, this, take it as it resonates, but maybe for some you might even need some sort of like tech support possibly. I'm not, just a little something extra that kind of popped in there, Aries. So, take that as it resonates. But I like that, Aries. I'm gonna leave that there. So, but that's interesting that would come through on this. And we are getting ready to get into a very kind of technological type of energy, because Aquarius can deal with, since you got the star card there, Aquarius energy can deal with like the internet and things. So very interesting. I don't know what you got cooking up, Aries, but I'm excited to see it. But hopefully you like that, Aries. I hope that did. I hope that made sense. That was very interesting reading. But if you like that, give it a thumbs up and share this, Aries. Because I feel like, especially if we know someone who's been kind of afraid about starting something up, or just been maybe doubting themselves, and we're what better way to show support than just kind of pass this around, get these emperors motivated. And then if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button, you get notified on all these videos each week. And then last little bit, look at you getting the hottest ticket and to come over to my other channel and our ruler. My sun signs in Cancer. But if you have any, you don't need any of these cards. But if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the Chariot, friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans, geek out when both the Chariot and the High Priestess pop up, and it's a good old time. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here. Interesting. So you got the Three of Swords here. And I feel like with this, Aries, I feel like that for some, when we were talking about like maybe needing to separate for some people if we're not being supported in what we're doing, that this may hurt a little bit, because maybe these are people that we might have some history with, possibly, just thinking with the Six of Cups being here, or maybe some we've known since childhood, since you got all page energy that's coming through. But I feel that it's going to be one of those things that if the people are meant to come back into your life, they absolutely will. But in the meantime, if they're if the vibrations are starting to change and there's that dissonance that's coming, sometimes there are times where we grow together, and there are other times that we grow apart, or that we need to grow separately. But the universe always keeps us, and keeps those that are meant to help us grow. They keep them in our lives, their areas. And then you reflect on the, even if things don't work out, there were great moments in there, and you take those little nuggets with you, send those people love and light, and just raises the vibration. But yeah, just something to think about there. But let me get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here. Thank you. Interest. I love that. So you got the eighth card here, which is the community, and look at that. Now we've grown, and now we got a different, we got a new crowd here. Got people who are there to support you, who are there to lift up your dreams and to listen to your fears, and for you to do the same. Be there, like, because we're a team in this. And I feel like, no, this, again, it might feel kind of sudden how this shifts may be happening, but then maybe that's something too. Maybe we're connecting with these people through technology. It's or just as we may be mentoring others, or whatever this is looking like, Aries. But I like that. I feel like that's a nice little way to kind of wrap this up. That that you, like, it's like I was telling you, you are supported, Aries, and you more than I feel like you realize, if that's something that you find yourself thinking about over this next month here. So, but I think I'm gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there with these sudden changes, and reevaluating friendships and things, because that can be tough. But intuitively, it's like what actions you need to take there. And sometimes with the Chariot, we gotta keep it moving. But hey, again, your communities there, your soul tribes here is, I'm all. That's all I'm trying to do, build a soul tribe here. So come on, Aries, you got this. You raise vibration through the roof. That's a lot to deal with when we're going through any sort of like rapid changes, or however that may be translating. So take some time. And like I mentioned that with the Knight of Wands and the Four of Swords. Just make sure we're self-caring. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.